background.
Nah.
You're good.
All right, start this time.
Um,
Yep, I just seen it pop up.
on my phone. Yeah, let me
Going
check.
up.
Yep, it just come up.
Woo!
Hey, man.
Yes.
I know what I did, though. I forgot to change it whenever I started the other one
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
private to public.
Uh,
I forgot to do that. That was my bad.
That'd be your problem there.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
All right. Let's see.
All right, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, everything else in between. Whatever else they've come up with nowadays. Transgender, bigender, trigender.
Caitlyn Jenner.
That's right.
That's just messed up. But we're not gonna get into that right now. That might be too controversial for YouTube.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That went live.
What did?
The
Sorry.
trigender, bigender.
Oh.
Oh, yay.
That's good to use for night fishing.
We're going to make some people mad.
Still trying to find the doggone thing on my channel.
It's popped up right here. What's up?
I've got it.
Okay.
I've got it.
There we go.
Hey, someone asked what's good to use for night fishing. Never I'm going for bass at night. I just use top water. That's all I really ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Shaky head.
yeah, shaky head. I even like big Texas rigs, big,
Mm-hmm.
10-inch, 12-inch big worms.
Yes.
And believe it or not, a black floating worm around docks is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Black spinnerbait, black and blue spinnerbait.
Yep.
Did you see that, Alex? Alex Rudd, make fishing great again. You're like the
That's
Donald.
right. That's right. I'm gonna run for president next year. What do you boys think?
As long as I can be your vice president, deal.
Hey, that's good with me.
I mean,
I'm gonna make the work week 2 days and fishing 5.
yeah.
There you go.
Oh. All right. So
I'm getting y'all guys in here in the description of this live feed here so people can know where to come subscribe.
Thanks, sir.
Sure. What's up, Winter? It's my boy.
Hey, Winter, what's happening, bud?
Hooked them fish. iCast was awesome. It was just amazing. It's like a toy store for fishermen. A giant toy store full of everything you could ever want. It's just amazing. Joe, thank you, buddy. I can't wait to get my hands on those. Shaky head's always good for me. So, Jamie Sweatman, can you do an underwater fishing video? I've actually got some underwater footage on my channel. It's not bass, but it's some panfish. It was actually really cool. I went snorkeling in a really clear lake. They let me swim right up to them, and like I had a cricket on a hook, and they just ate the cricket off the hook. But it was fun. So you go check that out. You might like that. I don't know about how a bass would react if you swam up to it. I know there was one spot that I got close to, and he didn't really want anything to do with me. He just kind of.
Smallmouth don't spook too bad. Largemouth and spot, they don't like it.
Yeah. I think the only problem with finding those smallmouth is getting on a lake clear enough where you could find them and swim with them.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because the lake that I was on, I mean, if you found a smallmouth, they'd probably be in 25 foot of water, and that lake has 20 foot to 25 foot visibility, but you can't just swim down 25 foot deep. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Was the lake you were on near me? Was it near me?
What?
Was the lake you were on near me?
No, it was Norris. It's in Andersonville, Anderson County.
I fished that this year.
Oh, did you? Yeah. So that's where I was at.
It's actually, I consider it near me. But
Yeah, okay.
I was wondering if you were maybe fishing Watauga.
No, it was Norris. It was that 4th of July weekend is when it was. I mean, dude, and the lake was murky, which was crazy, but there was still like 15-foot visibility. I mean, dude, it's nuts.
Was you on the POW or were you on the Clint side? I fished the Clint side. I've never fished the POW, and it's deeper, not as
Yeah.
wide.
I was down near the dam is where I was at. I was literally the bend up from the dam. It's family lake house is what it
That's
is.
the PAL side.
Yeah. There's some freaking red skags up there. There's a guy that had a bunch of domesticated red skags, and they got out during a storm, and there's like a wild population of red skags up there now.
Really?
Yeah, the TWA wants you to kill them. The only problem is like where they're supposed to be at is all private property, and like the dude's been charging people to get on the property and go hunt them and stuff. So, yeah. Yes, Winter, we are great. We know. You don't have to tell us.
Hooked on fish, meeting all the big YouTubers. It was pretty cool. It was kind of weird though, because you're so used to seeing them on the screen and then actually seeing them in person. They're a lot smaller than I thought they were going to be.
All smaller. They're like race car drivers, right? They're all like
yeah, like jockeys.
Yeah.
Nah, they were all great. They're all good guys. They're good guys. They're just dudes just like us. Just happen to be big on YouTube.
Yeah, really big.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Go ahead. Guys, I just want to say thank y'all for coming into the live stream. Viewers, invite people come on into it. Just want to say we got Alex Rudd here from Alex Rudd Fishing. Y'all know him. You know Bass Geek Fishing, Hank there, and then we got Adam from Hooked Fishing. And guys, y'all want to tell a little bit about your channels?
Sure. Go ahead, Hank.
All right then. I'm Bass Geek, guys. I call myself Bass Geek because I'm a computer geek. I really enjoy the geeky side of fishing. You know, all the numbers, line, reels, baits. That's what I enjoy. I get really caught up in it. I try not to overcomplicate it though. Because we are chasing after these green and brown fish that have little tiny pea brains. I'm new to YouTube. Been here for about 7 months now, and I'm learning. I appreciate everybody watching and helping me grow my channel pretty quickly so far.
He's awesome. You need to go check it out.
Y'all guys be sure to go check out his channel. He has some good content on there.
He
good
does.
content.
And super intelligent angler. I've learned some stuff from Hank already. Hank, your how to fix rod guides, man. I used it. It's in my newest video. You're the man.
It was rough, man. It was rough. I took it down. I'm actually going to redo it because I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, I've been messing with it. It looks like it's a hack and a half job. But hey, it holds, and that's all that matters.
Dude, I swear, most of the time it's better than what you get from the company.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. So,
who's next?
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next, I guess.
There you go.
All right, I'm Adam from Hooked Fishing, and I'm actually not the only one on this channel. My partner in crime, Vinny, right now, he's working, so he can't be here. But we started our channel, I believe it was last February, not this February, but last February, and we just cover fishing mostly in PA, around PA, go up to Lake Erie a lot and fish the lakes around here. We're just really getting into bass fishing now. We just got our boat this year and been putting out a lot more bass videos and just having fun with it. It's been nice meeting all these guys and growing, so yeah, check us out.
Doing good up in those pads. I've watched them.
Yeah, it's fun. The pads is honestly the best kind of fishing because
top water.
Out there.
All right, I guess it's my turn. You good, Thomas? You got something to say, buddy?
Nah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I'm Alex Rudd with Alex Rudd Fishing. Living in East Tennessee. I'm blessed to live where I do because I can fish all kinds of different fisheries. If I want to go punch match nugget on Chickamauga, I can go do it. If I want to go fish a drop shot and 25-foot visibility on Norris, I can. And I'm just trying to teach the world to fish and let everybody have a good time doing it. So just come check my channel out. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. And trust me, I'm like this all the time.
I'm testifying to you being blessed to living where you're living at, man. I love to live down there.
I'm telling you, dude, it's a special place. It really is. I mean, a lot of guys are bound to one lake. You know, they got one body of water to fish. I mean, if the fish ain't biting, they're just not biting. You know, it's hard to get them to bite me. I mean, if they're not biting on Cherokee, I can go to Douglas. If they're not on Douglas, I can go to Loudon. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it's just, I really am blessed, man. East Tennessee is just such a great place. So.
Good deal, guys. Go check out his channel for sure.
Thomas, my man,
Yes, sir.
I've
Yes,
heard
sir.
you've got something you need to tell everybody. And he's not pregnant, so
No.
It could be real.
This is even better. This is better.
Yeah.
This has been 9 months in the making right here. Done baking, all right? Timer's off. Let's take it out of the oven. Show everybody.
All right. Well, I've been tossing this idea up in the air for a long time, and for my YouTube channel, and I think after this broadcast tonight, you're gonna see the change, and this right here is the change. If y'all see the name on that,
Up a little bit.
up a little bit.
Yep. Okay, there we go. We're good right there.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, right there it is. I'm gonna change my name to Southern Outdoors Fishing.
Yep, legally. He's going to the DMV.
Well, I want to get out from the umbrella of just North Carolina and go to the umbrella of fishing. So maybe that might broaden my, I guess, eyes a little bit. Yeah, that too. Yeah, so, and as far as my channel goes, I'm a multi-species fisherman. I bass fish, long time bass fisherman. And I live in just about the center of the state. I live just south of Asheboro, North Carolina. So I've got the Yari River chain to fish. I've got Jordan Lake, Harris. If I want to go to Norman, I go to Norman. If I want to go towards Falls, up towards Virginia. But my main thing I'm doing right now, especially this time of year, I'm fishing up the coast. Right from just about the end of next month to the November sometime, the fishing gets hot, and if y'all guys ever start it, oh Lord, you will be hooked. I'm telling you. But I also got permission. I'm going to be starting fishing about 5 minutes from my house on Deep River. I finally got permission to go fish there. I got about a 4.5, 5 mile stretch through there. And I am super excited about that. I can take my kayak down there. I can take my little john boat down there and just slay them. And there's some good fish down there. If you know where Randleman Lake is, there's some nice bass in that lake, and this feeds it. So that's the river they dammed up, and I'm super excited about that. And but yeah, after tonight, my name's going to change, and I'm real excited about it. It's going to take me a while to get everything changed over, but it's going to be a process, but I think it's going to be a good thing. So.
It will too, man. I think it's a good name. I like it. It's easier to find too. It's not as much the Southern Outdoors Fishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it sounds like a TV show too. I like it.
Yeah,
Southern
TV
Outdoors Fishing, hosted by Thomas.
There you go.
He'll outfish you with a Cinco.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right.
Drapes better. I like your drapes better than your new name.
No, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the logo yet, but we're going to figure that out too.
Yeah, logo. I've got to do something about my logo. It looks like I just
make the logo.
hard traced a bass. It's just,
See, the whole logo thing and making that and doing that, it's it can be a little daunting, because right when you think you get something you like, it's not what you want. You know what I mean?
yeah, I just want to stay nice and simple.
Yeah. All right, so what's the deal, Thomas? You are the holder of the schedule and the planner, man. What do you want us to talk about?
Okay, yeah. I was going through the comments here. I was getting ready to go through some of his comments here, but I tell you what, let's talk about some of our strategies on deep water bassing. How about that?
Okay.
What y'all guys like to use and what works for you guys? What do you think?
Hey, you want to go first, buddy?
Well, you volunteer me twice now. Let's flip. You go first.
All right, I'll go. I just like to listen, man. You learn a lot more by listening, so.
The Douglas around here is the deep water fishery, so.
Yeah, no kidding. You can never be deep enough on Douglas. That's the thing, man. Is I was there a couple weeks ago. It was I put a video out. It was just me and Bethany went up there, and I was graphing fish in 45 foot of water. And I mean, that's where they're hanging out right now. It's where the thermocline's at, and that's where they're hanging out. But this time of year, man, as it gets hotter, and it's just gonna, it's gonna keep getting hotter into the end of August. Beginning of September is always hot, and then it just starts to cool down. Fish right now are gonna be doing one of three things that all circulates around one thing, and that's finding oxygen. So your bass are gonna be looking for oxygen. So the first thing that most bass do is they come up and spawn during the spawn, and then they move back out to deep water, and they start looking for the thermocline. And the thermocline is where the cooler, more oxygenated water is at. And so you're going to have a lot of bass that, and a lot of times you either have a thermocline, it can be on the bottom, it can be in the middle of the water column, it just depends. And the bass are going to be there. So when it's on the bottom, the bass like to be on the bottom, and they like to orient to the bottom, they like to orient to structure, like rock piles, trees, that kind of stuff. When it's up off the bottom, they're going to suspend, and they're going to suspend there, and they're going to eat bait fish. In both places, they're going to be eating bait fish. On the bottom, they'll key more on crawdads, so it's easier to fish a jig. When they're up in the water column, they're just going to be on bait fish. The second thing is they're going to go shallow and live in aquatic vegetation. And I mean that's a big thing in the summertime. I mean, if you've got a lake with aquatic vegetation, it's go there, go to the millful, because the bass are going to be in there. It's cool, it's protected, and it's got a ton of oxygen. Mm-hmm. Number three, they are going to orient to things like docks, cover, anywhere where there's shade that they can get in and be cool, because there's a lot of fish that don't want to go deep. They don't like to go deep. So they want to be as shallow as they can, but still be cool and still be protected. So fishing deep, like I said, you're going to want to find the bait fish. Find the bait fish, and then you're going to find the fish. Around me, it can be complicated because of the way the TVA pulls water. And when the TVA is pulling water, it really determines where the fish are going to be at. A lot of the times, and I've said this in a video that I did about fishing deep, it was tips for fishing deep. If they're not pulling water, the bass are going to be spread out over an area as big as a football field. I mean, it's going to be random. You'll be able to find them on the graph. They'll be suspended in 15 foot of water. They'll be on the bottom. They'll be in 2 foot of water. They'll be pushing bait. They'll be doing everything. When the TVA turns that dam on and starts to pull water through it, those fish are going to go from a football field to a rock pile. And they're going to get on the spot, and you'll have, anywhere from 5 to 25 bass on a rock pile as big as the hood of my truck. And so there's two ways. So you have the bass that are suspending, you have the bass that are oriented to the bottom. The ones that are oriented to the bottom, my favorite way, and if I can catch them like this all the time, and most people know that's watched any of my videos, is deep cranking. I mean, your 10XDs, your 6XDs, G87s, your Livingston deep divers. I mean, anything that gets to that 20-plus range where the bass are going to be at is what you want to be throwing. Another bottom bait is a football head jig, like the Beast Coast Dragon jig. I love a tungsten jig. It's a lot more sensitive. It translates the bottom a lot better. Because a lot of the times, like I said, you're going to be trying to find a rock pile as big as the hood of a truck. So when you know that you went from a silt or a mud bottom and you started to get on those rocks, you're going to be a lot more attentive. You're going to really feel for those bites. And when those bites do come, especially when you're throwing a tungsten jig, they're going to translate a lot better, and you're going to feel them. You can feel the really subtle bites. And then the third way that I like to catch them when they're on the bottom like that is like a big worm, a big 12-inch ribbon tail. Like Plum Old Monster, any of the brands that make the big 12-inch, 10-inch, 8-inch ribbon tails is a great way to catch them. Now, when they're suspended, so it gets a little bit harder, and it can really be tough to catch fish. And this is where a lot of people, they just don't know what to do or how to do it. And and the best way I've found is hair jigs, spoons, and swim baits. Your big ounce spoons, your big ounce hair jigs, your big ounce swim bait, like a paddle tail, hollow belly like a bass tricks on an ounce head, ripping them off the bottom, or you can do the reel technique, where you keep your rod tip down and you just reel 4 or 5 times real quick, and it hops that bait off the bottom, suspends out, and then starts to fall back down. And when that bait starts to fall back down, a lot of the times it's just a reaction bite. The bait gets in front of their face, the bass goes, okay, I need to eat that, they hit it. And, that's the best way to approach a lot of those suspended fish. And another way that I've found to approach suspended fish, which is still a technique that I'm really trying to study and really trying to learn well, is spy baiting. I can't speak much for it. I mean, I've done some of it. I don't want to go out of the way to say that I know a lot about it, because I don't. Because there's some people that know a lot about it, and they caught a lot of big fish on it. But it's one of those things. It's a bait. You can count it down to where the fish are at. Find the fish suspended, count down to where they're at, just start slow rolling that thing back, and it just absolutely gets smashed. So that's really, those are the techniques for deep fishing. Those are the things that you're going to be able to fish really deep, when they're oriented to cover, and then you're going to be able to fish those suspended fish who are still deep, but they're not oriented to cover anymore. They're just simply suspended off the cover, following the bait fish around. If you got any questions, please comment over on the side. If I wasn't specific enough on something, I'll try to answer it. But Hank, what do you think, buddy?
You covered it pretty good, man. Some of the things that I want to add really to that, it's probably going to be, you're talking about one of the other techniques is you can catch some in the early morning throwing topwaters, big walking baits. You've got a video out there, as a matter of fact. I wanted to say go watch his topwater video. I think came out a couple weeks back. So summertime, a lot of times you can catch some schoolers that are chasing bait on topwater baits. The other thing is, and this is, he's talking about the thermocline. A lot of you pond fishermen really want to pay attention to that too, and because what that is where the cooler water sinks to the lower depths of the lake. And I know a couple of years ago I ran into a situation where if they don't pull a lot of water, and considering the low amounts of rain that we've had in Tennessee, this as the summer,
and the fact that they pulled some of our lakes down to winter levels already because of the rain not happening. So,
but as it heats up, that thermocline, it'll actually begin to raise and get shallower and shallower. So as the summer goes on in those ponds, I know last year in one of my favorite small lakes that I fished, that most of you guys see me fishing, I make most of my videos on because I've fished it ever since I was a kid, and I just know where the bass are. The thermocline was 5 foot deep at one point, right before the temperature started to drop and we started going into fall. So those bass, there's such a lack of oxygen below the thermocline that they'll stay right on that line. And so that's the area you want to find, and you want to locate structure. And if it gets really shallow, you want to locate, like Alex said, vegetation or moving water. Those are going to be your keys.
Yep. Current creates oxygen. Bass are going to be where oxygen's at.
Right.
I mean, a bass cannot survive without oxygen. You put a bass in a live well without your aerators on for 2 minutes and they're dead.
Yep.
I mean, it is just that is what their life literally depends on, is oxygen and food.
Yeah.
And if they have those two things, they're going to be happy, and that's where they're going to be at. I mean, a bass's brain's no bigger than your thumb, and I mean, it's wired to do three things. It's wired to eat, make little bass, and find oxygen, and find cover. I mean, it's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So. And somebody asked about slow rolling big spinnerbait. Yes.
Yes.
Your big like ledge buster spinnerbaits, that can be a great option for fishing deep. I mean, if you're successful, if you're on that bite, do it. That's something that I don't do a lot of, and probably need to do a lot more of. You know what I mean? Those big ounce spinnerbaits, you can catch a lot of fish doing that.
I don't do a lot of the spinnerbaits because the lake I fish deep in most time is super clear, and they just don't like the blades. That's the reason you see me fish a lot of swim baits. And, Alex was talking about fishing those those suspended fish. The great thing about a 5, 6, 7-inch swim bait is they're going to draw the bigger bites, and they're also going to look a lot more natural. Like
there you go.
There you
so
go.
This is an ounce head. It's a 1 ounce gambler head with the big mudstad. It's like a 7/0 mudstad. This is a 7-inch. This is a 6 cents. It's just a hollow belly. I also like the Bass Tricks, but I mean that right there is killer. You can slow roll it. You can rip it off the bottom. You name it. You can kind of do it. Well, you can drag it. I've seen guys drag these like a Carolina rig and just get smashed on them. So,
I do it. I do it a lot.
So there you go. That's kind of what we're talking about when we're talking about that. Because I know a lot of like when I say swim bait, I mean it's hard for us, especially Hank. You know this. We're not West Coast guys.
We're not.
So when we say swim bait, dude, that could be anything from a 4-inch Havoc to an 8-inch Megabass, or we could be talking about hollow bellies where we're putting them on the big heads. And I think a lot of the times people get really confused with that because when I say swim bait, I've got 3-4 different kinds of swim bait videos out. Yeah. I've got my Gantarel video where I'm fishing hard swim baits. I've got my Megabass video where I'm fishing a big paddle tail. And then I've got videos like this where I'm fishing these things, on the bottom. So, there's a huge world of swim baits out there that a lot of people don't really take the time to investigate and learn about. And Hank is the man about that because he could probably beat all our eyes out with a hollow belly swim bait.
Man, I don't know. I just got into throwing them a couple years ago. And gosh, dude, I love them. You put a jig and a hollow belly in my hand, and I can catch them. I believe I can catch them anywhere, anytime, anyhow. So
yeah, deadly, man. See, I'm that way. I love a crankbait like that. I'm a cranking man.
I love a crankbait, but again, see, I live in an area where you've got Tennessee. I live in Southwest Virginia, on the border with Northeast Tennessee. So you've got all the Tennessee lakes, Cherokee, South Holston, Patrick Henry Boone, Watauga, Douglas, and then on the Virginia side I've got a lot of small lakes that are just a little bit closer to me, and they're all so steep banked vertical that if there's a tree on the side of the mountain, it's in the water sooner or later, and man, you throw a crankbait in there and you might as well kiss it goodbye. So
really?
you're going to hang up.
See, and that's one thing. Fishing clear lakes, man, it can be so hard. I mean, dude, the water clears up, and it's hard for a bass they just don't like it.
No.
I mean, like, they get real finicky. They can see you. They don't want nothing to do with anything. I mean, it's got to be the most natural, small, little bitty peanut jig in 95,000 foot of water. You know what I mean? And
But now, don't get caught up on that because, see, that's what a lot of people think, and this is what I've discovered. I can't tell you how many people will come up and they'll be like, "You catching fish on that big thing?" and they think because clear water you have to fish finesse, but those bass don't see those big baits because nobody will throw them in clear water.
Yeah. And that's why it's so successful in California.
Yes.
I mean, you got to imagine some of those lakes out there. Clear Lake ain't called Clear Lake because it's muddy. It's literally a clear lake.
Yeah.
I mean, and those guys throw those big 8-inch HUDs and they get destroyed. I mean, and it was proved this year. It was one of those things is I didn't have a lot of confidence in the big swim bait. And I whipped out the big 8-inch Megabass and started tossing that thing around and caught 2 5-pounders in about 10 casts. And I was like, okay, wow. You know what I mean? So fish really will eat this stuff around here. They really will key in on baits this big around here. And you know what I mean? And the more you think about it, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, there's threadfins swimming around in Loudon and in Cherokee. They're as big as my hand. I mean, they're huge.
Absolutely.
And bass eat them. I mean, like it's nothing,
I'll tell you what amazes me about Douglas, though, is how dirty that lake is and that they still go that deep.
Yep.
That amazing?
Yep. Well, I tell you, dude, the zebra mussels are in Douglas. They're in Cherokee, too.
Yeah, I know they're in Cherokee. I didn't hear about Douglas.
Yeah, they're in Douglas, so I don't know how that's going to affect that. I was talking to David Mullins about it when we did the live stream with Matt, and he said he made a good point that they jerk the water up and down so much you don't know how successful the zebra mussels will be. But we've seen some things on the graph this year that look like shell beds, and I'm thinking I need to study up on it more. But I mean, dude, you know, that lake has got a really, really weird color to it this year. It's got that weird greenish color that Norris got right before it went gin clear, and so does Cherokee. And Cherokee was clearer this year than we've seen it in a while. So I don't know how what's going to happen there. I hope, oh God, I hope that those mussels don't get in there. But you know, if they do, I have to figure it out. I have to learn how to fish again.
They'll turn into great smallmouth fisheries. That's all.
Yeah. The smallmouth. And the smallmouth have taken off in Cherokee. They are just, it is such a, you saw this year. Yeah. I mean, the videos, man, I mean, I was catching 5 smallmouth to 1 largemouth. And I mean, dude, it was awesome. So I'm waiting for a big smallmouth to smash one of those big swim baits. When that happens, I'll be done. Just stick a fork in me. I'm going home. I mean, you know. So.
Have you done much Damiki rigging?
I have not. Tell me about it.
Damiki rigging had actually started on, now this is a winter time, so I hate to get into this, but you can actually use this during summertime too, believe it or not. But you take a little tiny Damiki rig and you put it on a ball head jig, about a 1/4 ounce, you go right over top of the fish, and you drop it straight down. I mean, on Watauga, you can catch them in 60 foot of water, and you just barely jig it up and down, and those smallmouth will crush it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll check it out. So, and I tell you speaking of dropping stuff on top of them, another great summertime technique that a lot of people don't do is drop shot.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, the small. You know, I love to throw the big stuff. I mean, I love 10XDs and 6XDs, and I mean, that's just. I'm a power fisherman. I love to do it. It irks me to my core to have to drag a Carolina rig or fish a drop shot, but it catches.
Come on, man.
Big fish. Oh yeah, I mean, but it catches big fish. I mean, it just does. It's just a fact. And, you know, a drop shot's one of those things, if you can find them suspended, you know, a lot of the time, sometimes they'll suspend off the bottom. When we say suspend off the bottom, that's anywhere from 1 foot to 16 foot. You know what I mean? And if they're suspended 5 foot off the bottom, you can have you a 5 foot leader from your hook to your drop shot weight, and you can easily fish those fish with a finesse presentation that they're not intimidated by, they're not pressured by, and they're going to eat it because it's small, it's there, and it's an easy meal. So drop shot's something that you need to can be a huge asset to deep fishing as well.
And in super deep water, what a lot of people don't realize is that weight doesn't have to be on the bottom. If you have a nice long leader and your vertical, you know, literally seeing them on your graph, dropping it straight down, that weight doesn't have to be on the bottom. As long as you've got a nice leader, like he said, 3, 5, 8 feet, you know, I mean, you can just sit there and put that bait. You can see it on your graph, and I like 2D sonar to do that, but you can see it, and they'll swim right up, and you can sit there. It's video game fishing. They'll swim right up to it and take it.
And that's a huge thing. And I know a lot of guys. You know, we got a lot of pond fishermen, and we got a lot of guys, you know, but the guys who are on the lakes, I mean, your graphs are a huge asset. I mean, that's how we find fish. And a lot of the times when I'm fishing deep cranking fish, when I'm fishing jig fish, when I'm fishing deep fish, I've found them on the graph. And, I mean, a lot of the times we won't even stop unless we see fish. Unless I can see the fish on the graph, we just don't stop. We just go to the next spot until I find some, and I throw at them. Yeah. And, I mean, you ask any pro, you know, 90% of their practice is idling around finding fish. They never pick up a bait. And, you know, sometimes that's just what it takes. If you've got the access and you've got the ability to use your graphs and you can do that, do it.
And
get good with them.
And who doesn't have access to them now? I mean, look at the deeper. I mean, pond fishermen, I mean, you know, you can throw a deeper out there on your and use your iPhone now. I mean, and all you have to do, you know, like we were talking about the thermocline earlier, you know, ponds, unless they have some sort of fountain or they're, you know, something that causes the water to churn from top to bottom, you know, you can throw that out there, tweak up the settings, and you can see that thermocline. That's how, when we talk about a thermocline, we cut our electronics sensitivity up, and it looks like a false bottom just above where the actual bottom is, and that's where we know where that intersects structure. So where that touches a point or a rock pile or a grass bed, for that matter, that's where we know that the fish are likely to be holding.
Exactly.
Speaking of depth finders, I am thinking about for my kayak getting a Reynolds Elite TI series. Have y'all had heard anything good or bad about those?
I've not really had any experience with them.
I've got Humminbird and Lowrance on my boat.
Okay.
So, all right. I like both. I'm really learning, but the TIs, what I've read about them, I think between that and maybe the Helix units from Humminbird, I don't think you could go wrong.
I've heard the Helix was a little bit complicated. That's the reason why I've kind of steered away from that one.
You know, I'll tell you what I've discovered about the Helix. It's a button push. It is.
Yeah.
If I get on hard steep bottoms, I'm turning the sensitivity down. If I get on softer bottoms, I'm turning the sensitivity up. It seems like you're always adjusting it. As far as the layout and everything, it's pretty simple. I will tell you, though, pay close attention to the kilohertz values on the transducers that they come with. Because I've kind of and I'm going to do a review of the Helix 9s that I just put on my boat. But what they don't tell you in the 9s is that they come with a compact transducer that does not read at 800 kilohertz, which is a sharper, high definition pick. Now the head units themselves will read at 800 kilohertz, but the transducer doesn't transmit. So pay attention to make sure you get that 400 and 800 kilohertz. You want both of those. And it seems like there's another one. Alex, do you know? Have they gone to 1,000? Is there some transducers now that do it?
Well, I know we got a new boat and it's got Lowrances in it, and I can go all the way. I think it's 1,800 is what it is.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. I'll tell you for sure. Let me pop the thing off here and turn the power on.
On the front one, you've got the big, nice 12 touch. So that's
the back. Our console is a 12 HDS3 touch, and with the chirp, and then the front is a 9. And all we need is a cable to connect the two, and then we'll have chirp on the front too. So I think the chirp is the bomb. That's what. And I tell you, the one thing I'll have to say about these HDSs is the touch screen. We live in a world, and my whole existence up to this point has been touchscreen. You know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid, the whole iPhone thing didn't exist, but in my older age, when I've owned a piece of electronics, it's been some kind of touchscreen. So that format is so easy to use, and they make it, it's just big, like, click this to fix this, click this to fix this, not like go in this setting, turn here, turn this knob, jump up and down twice, and touch your head. So, the whole touchscreen thing is just amazing. But hold on, let me see. I'll tell you for sure.
In the new TIs, you're talking about the Hook series, the Hook TI?
No. It's the one. It's the other. It's the Elite TI series.
Okay, so
it's got the side scan on it.
Okay, I'll tell you what, and Alex, I'm sorry to interrupt.
See, no, go ahead, buddy. I was just going to tell you what, but go ahead.
See, I've got a Lowrance Elite 7 on my Sea Hunt.
If I was going to get into that, and you're going to put it on your kayak because you're not going to need one on the bow, look into those. What are they? The Hook 7s, because I think you can get them with side imaging. And I don't know the price difference. Now that's the only kicker.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But
I know you can get the Elite TI 5, I think, for like $500. They're really inexpensive.
Nice.
So I'm not sure about the Hook. I hadn't really priced those yet.
I'm not sure either. I know they do a 5 and a 7-inch, but I'd check into those. They're a new series that came out. It was either last year or this year from Lowrance.
For the what from Lowrance? What do you?
The Hook series, the 5 and the 7s.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They're designed to be standalones, but
okay.
Everything
so
they're nice.
So on the graph, to clarify, we've got 83 kilohertz, 200 and 800, and then the chirps. There's 3 different settings of chirp. There's high chirp, medium chirp, or high chirp, medium chirp, low chirp, and each of the chirps are a different set of kilohertz, and I'm not really sure what that even goes up to, but I know the high chirp is like, I mean, dude, it's crystal clear. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. We pulled up on a point the other day, and I'm not really sure. The only thing I can think is like the base of an old silo or something before they flooded Loudon, and I could see it. I mean, it was a perfect circle. And I've seen pictures where like guys have found cars underwater, and you can like tell the make and the model. It's so clear. So I can't wait to experiment with it more. I mean, we've only had it out once, and I've played with it. I mean, maybe 4 hours. And I mean, and it is just the most integrative. Just touch here, touch this. I mean, it's just super clear. It's really blowing my mind. And and it may be one of those things where we went from an 8-inch hummingbird to a 12-inch touchscreen, but it's crazy. It's awesome.
How does it you be able to see it in sunlight?
Oh, it does great in sunlight. I can see it clear as day.
I hadn't seen that. Yeah. Okay, I hadn't seen one in sunlight.
You can see the only thing you can see is like the I guess however they've made this graph. There's 2 different kinds of touchscreen that exist. You've got one that does it by heat, which is like your iPhone, and you got it by pressure, which are these. You can see the little pressure sensors when it's in the sun at a certain angle, but that's the only thing you can see. I mean, it doesn't interfere with what you actually see on the graph. You know what I mean? So. Yeah,
the Helix, the ones that I've got, you can see them great. Of course, they're not touch screens, so which I do like them. I've worked with them, got them tweaked out. The one thing on the 9s that really kind of ticked me off, the 10s, which are about $500 more, come with the HD transducer. What they Helix or Humminbird doesn't put anything in the box, don't tell you anything, but you can trade in your transducer as long as you don't mount it, as long as you don't use it, for the HD for $80. But if you mount it, you take it out of the bag, $270 for a new transducer.
Huh.
Yeah, and they don't put anything about the trade-in in the box, man. You will talk about ticked off.
Oh yeah, I would be.
So, but I found it for $170 somewhere else, so I'm gonna try and get one and throw it on there.
And there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say something now I can't remember. I don't know. Never mind. Must not be worth saying.
All right. Poor Adam involved here. We kind of.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. We've just been going back and forth. So, Adam, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Y'all fish ponds. Tell us about summer pond fishing, because I'm not. I mean, dude, I don't do much bank fishing, so I don't know much about it. Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, like for me, I fish a lot of weightless. I fish a lot of real light stuff. Like I use some of Joe Reynolds shaky heads. I use that. I use a lot of top water. I use big tube baits. Do well with that. A lot of weightless stuff. What about you, Adam? What kind of baits do you like to use?
I throw a lot of weightless stuff too. A lot of weightless Sankos like you do. You guys crankbait fish a lot, Alex and Hank, but in ponds it's tough because most of the time the bottoms aren't too hard, at least around me. So we throw a lot of weightless Sankos, a lot of jigs. Like you're putting up with Beast Coast, we throw a lot of jigs like that. And free spawn and all that. And top water is always a blast. And I'm just starting to get into swim baits a little bit more. I threw that one that came in a Lucky Tackle box, that B-Wad rainbow trout one. My first cast, I caught one. It has great action in the water. It's just a sweet bait. Yeah, pond fishing's fun, but you can do a lot more from a boat. I prefer to be on a boat, but pond fishing's still fun.
And guys, he mentioned Beast Coast. If you haven't checked them out, you need to, because, and it's one of those things. And I tell everybody this: I only work with brands that I can stand behind, and I truly stand behind what Derek is doing. And it's one of those things. It's affordable tungsten. I know a lot of you guys, you're fishermen on a budget, like all of us are. You're all trying to save money. Derek's putting out tungsten jigs at a quarter of the price that every other brand is putting out tungsten at. You can go buy a 1.25 ounce tungsten punching rig from Beast Coast for $7.95, whereas the competitors' punching rigs at the same size with half the quality that you're going to get out of Beast Coast is going to be $15, $16. So if it's one of those things that you want to experience tungsten and you want to feel really the tungsten difference, Beast Coast is the way to go because you can afford it, you know. And I know, guys, it's expensive to fish. It gets expensive sometimes. And every little bit of a discount or able to find a deal or a bargain really helps. So Beast Coast is definitely a bargain.
Got a question about that, Alex. Like bullet weights, like if say half ounce or so.
Yes.
I'm sure he sells those, right?
We're getting them designed and made right now.
Okay.
We're gonna have them. We're waiting for the production. I think Derek told me it's gonna be a few weeks before they can start production on them. The factory that he goes through makes a couple other brands stuff, and they kind of got some priority over him because they are able to place a lot more numbers order over Derek, so they gain priority. But we're coming out with bullet weights from quarter ounce all the way up to ounce and a quarter. So.
Good deal. Good deal.
Cool.
I'd like to check those out when he gets those out.
Yeah,
for sure. We also have got a new flipping jig coming out. It's going to be called the Mag Flip. It's going to be a big Magnum flipping jig. It's going to be super heavy, a lot like what you saw Greg Hackney fishing with down at Bass Fest. Those big, get them in there, get them out, really fast presentation on the jig. And then we're also coming out with a swim bait. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a swim bait with a mechanical belly weighted tungsten swim bait hook, and so it's gonna be cool. Yeah, Beast Coast is a brand that I truly believe is going to take the fishing world by storm. When people finally start to get on the train and figure out what it's all about, it's gonna be cool.
It seems like that's the future of fishing, tungsten.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, and I mean it's one of those things. And I mean, Hank, you fish tungsten, right? You're a true believer, right?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, Hank can vouch for me.
I do.
Go ahead, buddy.
I am one of those. I know I spend a lot of money on fishing, but gosh, I will save a penny and a dime anywhere I can. So it is expensive, but I swear it does. It makes a huge difference.
It does, and I mean the thing is the science behind it is a lot of people are like, well, it's just weight. It's just like anything else. When in truth, it's not, because the science behind it is that tungsten is a denser metal than lead. And that density helps for the translation of bottom contour, bites, everything. I mean, that tungsten is just a more direct signal from the jig to the line to the rod to your hand in being able to hook up with a fish that, a lot of times, especially when you're fishing deep or even when you're flipping, you'll flip a jig in somewhere and that bass will hit it on the fall. And if you're fishing lead, you'll never feel that. They'll just suck it right in and it's not there. With tungsten, you're going to feel, even though it may be slight, you're going to feel that, and you're going to be able to go, okay, something just happened there. You're going to be able to get that fish in the boat. And also with tungsten, it's a lot more compact. So, especially with Beast Coast, because it's 97% tungsten, it's coming in at a half of the size of a normal tungsten jig. And it's just super compact. It's just an all around better product to use, and it makes you a lot more effective. You know what I mean? And when you have the confidence to get out there and fish like that, and you've got the confidence you're gonna be able to feel those subtle bites. Confidence is a lot of fishing, and you're just gonna be a better angler because of that. So, sorry that I went on my Beast Coast rant, but I mean, guys, I'm just. Derek is doing some really, really cool stuff, and I really want everybody to just check it out. So it's really cool.
Alex, somebody earlier asked, what's the most innovative product we saw at iCast, and since me and you were there, you want to tell yours first, and I'll say, what I thought was cool?
Sure. Innovation. I tell you, dude, the Livingston stuff is just blowing me away. I mean, maybe I've been, off the train about it or something, but the whole thing with the Bluetooth technology where you're going to be able to Bluetooth a bait and have 150 different Bluetooth bait fish sounds, The new swim bait they gave us, we're going to be able to take the pin out of the swim bait and pick how heavy we want it to be, like what the sink rate's going to be on it and all that stuff. I mean the colors, just everything about that. I mean, and it's coming with, it's one of those things. It's like not only do you get all the Bluetooth technology and you get all that in, it's like you've computerized fishing, but they're just good all around. Good paint jobs, good hooks, good quality, and they're not going to break. So I think Livingston is one of those things. The whole company, the whole line of stuff has just blown me away. They're the future. It's the future of fishing. I mean, you know.
I agree with you with that. It's insane, their products that they showed us all at that one meeting. It was insane.
It was just crazy.
Cooler products I saw. Did you see the trapper tackle thing? I don't know how well it's going to work, but it was pretty neat. It was a hook, and instead of the normal J hook, it had a trapper box in it.
Yes, I saw that. I actually got an email from that guy. I'm sent off to get some samples of when those come out. So I think those will be interesting.
Yeah, those are pretty neat. And then we saw this one lure. I don't think it's going to sell. I don't know how well it's going to sell at all, but it was a popper by like some, I don't know if it was a really foreign company. It has a camera inside of it. It like films as you pop it. It's like $180 for a lure. They're saying they haven't come out yet. I'm like, I don't know who would spend that much money.
Oh, there'll be a YouTuber that does that.
Film it.
Oh yeah, that'll get some freaking wicked footage too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was sweet.
The fishing game was pretty cool. The VR fishing game.
That was pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. I'm not a big video game guy, but that was cool. I mean, he was talking about how that could help people that are, have disabilities, can't walk, can't, go out and do, they'll be able to fish. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Did you see Mike doing it? That was funny. There he is.
Yes. Yeah, it was funny.
We got a question here. Favorite summertime lures, and also realistic fishing asked what are the ways you can build your confidence except by buying expensive lures and tackle.
Well, I'm going to take the confidence thing because I've really thought about this the past 2 years. Okay, I think the whole confidence thing is crap. And I'm going to tell you why. The way I approach baits is like this. Is it running in the section of water that I think the fish are? Does its action present in a manner that I think the fish are attracted to it? Just I think it's right time, right place, right situation. Now, I hate to say that. I think confidence, yeah, of course you're going to get confidence when you use a bait and you catch fish on it, but I don't think you should ever be afraid to throw a bait. I think you should look at that bait, think about what that bait does, how that bait does it, and decide when you're choosing a bait for a certain situation, don't pick a bait because it's something you caught fish there last year or the time before, or you've caught fish on that particular body of water. To me, I pick baits, and I've changed this line of thought 2 years ago, and I have become 100 times more successful by looking at the baits I've got and going, okay, what are the fish doing? What are the fish telling me to do? What are the fish wanting? What am I seeing? Where are they? What am I not seeing the fish do? And I try to pick a bait based on that. I don't worry a lot about colors. You got to worry about it as far as water clarity goes. I know I've heard Alex talk about it a lot. Black and blue, black, green pumpkin, watermelon. If they're chasing bait fish and you're fishing anything that swims from a crankbait to a swim bait, what type of bait fish are they chasing? Are they chasing shad? Are they chasing alewives? Are they chasing blueback herring? Match the hatch, guys. Bass change by the hour, and that's my opinion on that. I changed the way I approach that about 2 years ago, and my catch rate and the size of the fish I caught have gone way up.
Yep. Use what you know. I mean, it's sometimes it's simple, sometimes it's not. But I mean, if you know fish are chasing bait fish, if you literally see a fish chasing bait fish, start throwing something that looks like a bait fish.
Yeah.
I mean, throw several things until you figure out what the fish want. Let the fish tell you what to do. And I get what you're saying about you use your intelligence. I mean, because you're fighting a game with a fish. With a fish. You're a human being and it's a fish. You're eventually going to get it figured out. And I say that. I better knock on some wood because tomorrow I'm going to go not catch a single dang on thing.
Yeah, I know.
But you're right. You use your brain. I mean, just use every tool you have at your disposal. And I've said this in a lot of videos. A lot of my tips videos. The first thing I say is use every tool that you have at your disposal, and your tools include your eyes and your brain, and trust your instincts. I mean, and you're right. Fish change by the hour, man. By the minute. I mean, it was one of those. Over the winter, it was a perfect example. It's my Christmas video actually. In the morning, the fish, the smallmouth and the largemouth, they wanted a white dual realis with a chrome side. As the day wore on, as the sun started to get lower in the sky, they wanted a dual realis with a chartreuse back and an orange belly with chrome on the side. And they literally, I was catching 2 fish to 1 over Dad, who was still throwing the white one. Why? Great question. But that's what they wanted, and that I let the fish tell me, hey, this is what I want, so I let them have it. Yeah. Yeah, and gaining confidence, it's one of those things. It's just fish. I mean, like if you're a confidence builder is just to do it. I mean, go out there and throw a swim bait, a big swim like the mag draft. It has a speed it likes to be fished at. I would have never known that unless I had the confidence to throw it 1,000 times, and 100,000 times, but hundreds, if not thousands of times, to figure out the little nuances of the bait, which gave me confidence that I can fish it this way and confidently fish down this strip of bank, and I can confidently catch a fish. So, for the whole the confidence thing.
Just remember, guys, it's all about everything you have is a tool, and you're attacking a certain section of the water and a certain thing that those fish are feeding on at a certain time. Make it that simple. Are they 0 to 2 feet? Are they 4 to 8 feet? Are they 10 to 12? Are they 14 to 20? Are they 20 to 80? If you get a bait in front of a bass and they're at all active, at all hungry, they're going to bite it. They're going to bite it.
So Dad actually commented over here. Kevin Rudd, that's my father, if anybody didn't know. He's the dude that's in all my videos. He's the guy who taught me everything I know, and I wouldn't know jack squat about anything if it wasn't for him. He said, don't forget Roadrunners. Hank, you ever throw a Roadrunner, man?
I have not ever thrown a Roadrunner.
Roadrunners. Yeah, dude. They're it's like a hair jig. It's like a hair jig with a little blade on it, and it's the bomb. So
not ever thrown a Roadrunner. So
he said, don't forget Roadrunners. So, let's see. Let's look for some questions here.
Let's see.
Anybody want to know anything in particular? I mean, just start asking some questions. Let's talk some fishing for a little while.
Well, this one guy, and I kind of answered it a little bit. It says, I know this is our question. What type of line, mono, braid, fluoro, is the best for weightless rigs? And I sent back mono, but braid also floats. If you want to use weightless. I mean, I use mono and I use braid. I don't use a lot of fluoro. I've got one reel with fluoro on it, but no, I don't use that much.
I only use fluoro for my leaders most of the time.
Yeah, I do for that. I use a lot of those for that.
Mainline, I'll use it sometimes, but normally I'll use mono. I'm using other than braid for my mainline.
90% of the time I use braid as backing. If I'm fishing topwaters, I still throw mono leaders, and I will throw everything else for me is fluoro. It's fluoro.
I'm a copolymer guy. I love P-line.
I've not dipped my toe into the copolymer.
That's actually what I use, Alex, is P-line copolymer.
Dude, I'm telling you, P-line is absolute whale rope.
I got to get some of that.
Hey, I'm
I
telling you,
love it.
listen, I've been a cigar guy for a while, but I bought a spool of 20-pound test fluoro, not even cold foam, just fluoro. I was pitching this timber, threw it into a tree, and I mean, I was taking my trolling motor in a boat and trying to pull it loose, and it would not break. I finally had to go and cut it loose with scissors.
Yeah. That P-line's the same way. I mean, like you can see, you'll bend out a hook.
I'm talking about P-line. That's
Oh yeah.
Hey, and I'm telling you, I'm probably going to switch brands for that reason.
I'm telling you, I have got so much confidence in P-line after this. It was one of those things like this year. I said I'm going to start throwing more P-line. I'm going to start throwing more P-line. Sure enough, I did, and I threw 15-pound P-line on my spinnerbait rod this year, all spring, all through the shad spawn, and I broke off one spinnerbait, and I literally had to use the boat and the trolling motor to break it off, and you know. And I didn't have any fish break me off there. Abrasion resistant is ridiculous. I use 25-pound on my swim bait rod. I mean, I might as well be fishing 65-pound braid. I mean, it is the stuff. Hank, do you have a hydro wave, dude?
I do not.
Okay, yeah. Somebody asked our opinions on the hydro wave. We don't have one of the boats, so I don't have any experience with it. I don't know anything about it.
I could see how it would work, especially this time of year since we're talking about deep schools and getting them fired up.
Yeah, I mean, if the Livingston bait fish sounds make a difference, the hydro wave might. So,
I've thought about getting
Alex.
Yeah.
Check the chat over there.
Oh yeah, you would. Yeah, I probably am gonna chip it too. That's Bethany. That's my girlfriend. The whole family's on here. I mean, we got Dad and Bethany. Mom, you gonna comment? You watching?
Hey, speaking of line now, no joke. I did a video the other day on flounder fishing. I'm just getting into flounder fishing, learn how to do that. But the guy I went with, the guy was one of my subscribers. He contacted me. He wanted me to go with him. Actually, he went with me. His motor was getting worked on, but he was using some. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this or not. It's Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome. He was using 12-pound test. And like I said in the video, we was fishing stuff, and it was right there on the Cape Fear River, right there on the ICW boat docks, and there's just, I mean, big chunks of concrete and logs, and you name it, it's in there. And if you cast out 5 times and don't break off, you're doing great. But he was using that stuff, dude, and I'm telling you, it's like you were saying, pulling the boat, same way with him. I mean, just trying his hardest to break. But it would always break the leader, which was a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. It very seldom ever broke his line. I mean, I'm going to get some of that stuff. You can get it off Amazon for $31 for 4,700 yards. That is insane.
Dang.
4,700 yards for $31 off Amazon.
Wow.
I'm talking about.
I couldn't believe it. It was $50 in the bait shop down there, and I went online and looked, and it's 4,700 yards for $31. They just run out. I was going to get some.
Realistic Fishing has got a question that says, what tips do you have for overcoming frustration? I don't know about y'all, but I ain't found
Jumping
that.
in the water.
I try to remember that there's cameras on the boat, because if any of you all seen Lunker's TV when he threw that reel in the water, he ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah, trust me, guys. There's a lot of editing goes into electric fishing.
Oh yeah.
I've had some mortal flip outs before.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what is it? I mean, how do you overcome frustration? Just realize that it's coming. I mean, dude, you can only fish so much before you just have one of those special days. And the thing is every day is not going to be one of those 20-pound bag days, 30-pound bag days. You're not going to always catch 7-pounders. I mean, and the thing is Mikey Bowles will tell you, I know most of you guys watch him, lives in Florida, and, you know, everybody's always commenting, dude, you catch hogs, dude, you catch hogs, dude, you catch huge fish. And he will always comment back, that's because you don't see the thousands of other little ones I catch before I catch these big ones. And that's the thing, is just realize that you're going to catch a lot of small fish before you catch that better than average fish.
Yeah.
You know, or that fish of a lifetime. I mean, you know, there's a lot of fishing goes into what all of us do before we catch good ones.
Yeah, and guys, I'll tell you what, 90% of good or great days for me have seemingly to last about 2 hours out of maybe a 14-hour day that I'm on the water. A lot of times you'll run into them, and I mean, you'll just smash them in 2 hours, and that's it. I mean, sometimes that's all it takes. It's I hate to give Mike Iaconelli props, but never give up.
Yeah, never give up. That's right.
It could all change on the next cast, and that's what you got to remember. 90% of the time, your bite is a small window, or at least the really good bite, the part that you feel great, that makes you feel like you've had a good or great day.
Yep. Or it could be one of those things. Is a lot of my big fish this year is I fished for 12 hours and got 5 solid bites.
There you go.
5 dang good bites. My smallmouth fishing video, I mean, you got to see, I caught probably 10 fish that day. That's it.
Yep.
But all 10 of them were that better than average fish. They were just those dang good fish. And a lot of the times, the pros, KVD does not go out there and catch, and then sometimes he does. He doesn't. Sometimes he catches 100 fish a day. But I promise you, those tournaments, he's sitting down in 50th place.
Mm-hmm.
When he was on Toledo Bend, that dude caught 5 fish a day, and they were 5, 6, 7, 8 pounders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's just about being confident in yourself and realizing that it's not always the huge days. You're going to have special days. So. Now, people who can go have a special day every day are the people you got to watch out for. those are the ones that win the $100,000 checks.
and you know what? Bass fishing is like baseball. You know what? A great batting average is about what 333, 350.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're going to strike out way more than you're going to hit a home run. That's what it's like. And if you go out and you look at these guys, the best in the world, the tournaments, there's a lot of times they don't have great days. They learn quickly how to catch keepers. So.
Yep. Put a limit together and then go look for kickers.
Yep.
Before I forget it, guys, I mentioned in the comments a while ago, but and I know Adam, you're running a giveaway this month for Lucky Tackle Box. Mine ends tomorrow night at midnight. It also got some baits from Joe Reynolds, so be sure to check that out. The video is in the description below. So it ends tomorrow night at midnight.
When I hit 2,000 subscribers, I'm doing a big giveaway. So let's get to 2,000. I'm at like 1,850 something right now, so we're close. When I hit 2,000, I'm going to be doing a big giveaway. So I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I'm thankful for all y'all. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, Thomas, all you guys, it's just been a community thing, man.
Yeah, it really is.
It's awesome. All the subscribers, everybody that's watching, everybody that's watched, you ask questions, you show up for this stuff. Guys, it's all you guys. It makes all this possible. Really, it is.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool. It really is.
Yeah, if it wasn't, the support of everybody watching, all the support of my viewers, it's kind of like it's your viewers watch my stuff my viewers watch your stuff, and all subscribe, and it's a big community, big family type thing. It's awesome. I really enjoy it.
It is a community. I think that's what surprised me the most about becoming YouTube creators is how everybody kind of interacts with each other. I was really,
especially across genres.
Yeah.
There's guys in the gaming community that love the fishing community, and guys in the fishing community that love, basket weaving. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's so cool to see everybody just work together for a common good. You know what I mean? To make great content.
Exactly.
So.
That's like the Almighty. He's at 300,000 subscribers now. He started off gaming, and now he's doing pretty much all bass fishing, or not all bass fishing, it's all fishing in general, and he's been taking off.
Yeah, and the dude is just, he could probably beat us all in Call of Duty. So, because none of us know anything about it, but that's his passion, video games and fishing. And who would have thought 10 years ago that video games and fishing would be something that people would want to see. You know what I mean? So.
It's insane. There's a lot of money to be made.
So let's see here. My favorite TVA lake. I like Chickamauga. I mean, it's turning out to be a great lake. That lake's gonna be special, and it is special now.
I'm gonna tell y'all the funny story about my first Chickamauga. I think it was probably right at 5 pounds. I go down there. I'm with Roger Brown. He sticks a jig in my hand with a beaver style bait on it. We're fishing some shell beds there, some rock, I guess. I'm reeling up. All of a sudden, I feel dunk, and I swear I look over at the guy I took with me and Roger, and I went, "This is a big." I'm all like, "Oh man!" I reel down to it. I've been pitching timber and catching fish in timber, so I was used to having a long rod that I wedged under my armpit. I hauled off like I was a superstar, set the hook on that thing, and the reel come out of my hand, and the rod went out of my hand, and I went diving after it, so I almost lost his rod, the guy's rod and reel on the first fish I caught during the day, and made myself look like a total moron.
Oh, God.
That was a Bill Dance style blooper right there, boy.
Hey, that's like mine.
So,
dude, hey, Thomas, I still feel sorry for you after falling in that pond like that, dude. That was rough.
Well, the bad thing about it was it was Christmas Eve.
Oh
man.
Yeah.
Getting cold, too.
I lost all 3 of my rods that day. All my most of my tackle. Killed one of my brand new GoPros, $400 GoPros. But I didn't get hurt, didn't drown. I'm still sitting here talking to you guys. Life is good.
So realistic fishing asked, dude. Realistic fishing's been killing it on the questions. I like it. He's my beard brother. That dude's got a wicked beard. It's better than mine. So it says, do you think that people new to fishing get discouraged seeing YouTube personalities smashing them when they can't duplicate it? I mean, I think it's person to person. I mean, me, if I see somebody catching them, hey, I'm happy for them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you guys think?
You know, I'll be honest. I can be jealous.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch them, especially during the spring. You know, I was talking about this just the other day. I don't know what it is, but I'm a way better summer angler than I am during the spring. When they're in post-spawn or pre-spawn. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm sitting here watching everybody just crash them, just whipping them during this earlier in the year, and I'm just like, man, I can't catch nothing. What is wrong with me? I'm literally doubting myself the whole time. So, yeah, sometimes it does get to you, but, like Alex said, you got to remember there's a lot of editing goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, with me, lots of fire under me. If I see people catching fish, number one, I'm like, good for them. Good, they're out there smashing them. Me, and then the second's like, okay, I got to get on the boat. Let's go catch fish. Come on. You know what I mean? It's just lots of fire under me to see people catching fish. But I think it just depends person to person. Don't let it get you down. I mean, there's no reason for that. I mean, go out there and catch you a few.
I just try to look at what they're using. Like, if they're catching a ton of fish, instead of like focusing on them catching them, I try to figure out what they're doing and try to duplicate it, see if it'll help me.
Yeah, and you can learn a lot by doing that. Mm-hmm.
And time on the water is what it takes, guys. I mean, you've got to be out there as much as possible, because every sight and sound you learn something different. It's about building that Rolodex in the mind so that you can go, oh wait, I know what that is, and I know what that is, and not even being able to see it, hearing it. I know. I'm sure Alex is to this point. I'm sure all these guys are to this point that you can tell a difference between most of the time a bass chasing bait on top or a carp flopping. I mean, we know what to chase, and it's really about just spending hours and hours and hours and hours out there. Don't get frustrated. Don't get off the lake. If you're going fishing, my wife knows when I go fishing, it's from sunup to sundown, and she doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, It's just, you know, I mean, it's one of those things. Is like we fish every single week. Every week we're out on the water, and I'll say it again, and I've said this before, and I'll say it over and over. My dad has taught me everything I know, and I mean, I've been around a very experienced fisherman, and that's another thing, is be around people that are better than you. Be around people that know more than you do, and sit and listen to them, because when you sit and listen, when you sit and watch, when you study, and you're in the boat with somebody that has mannerisms and in a system to how they fish, you're going to learn a lot by doing that. You know, and one thing that I want to do this year that I've never done is marshal for a pro. I'd love to marshal for a pro and sit and watch them fish. Not say anything, not do anything, to sit there and watch them be a professional bass fisherman.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and anybody can sign up for it. It's open to the public. I mean, you sign up for the Marshall program, and they stick you in the boat with a pro. And I mean, you know, you might get some guy that you've never heard of, or you might get stuck in there with Mike Iaconelli, and you get to see how he does Mike Iaconelli, and you can learn a lot from doing that.
And I'll tell you guys, you know, I know you guys know that I've been fishing the BFLs, the FLW BFLs, and that is the biggest reason, because I've got my own boat, I've got my own electronics. You know, I don't need to go fish as a co-angler, but, you know, I've been in the situation where I started fishing and didn't have anybody to teach me. Everything I've learned, I've literally went out and beat water until I've figured it out. And, you know, just absorb and read and YouTube and every magazine and every article I can find on the internet. I mean, I read it and I go try it and beat water until I figure out what works for me, which is, again, back to, you know, and sorry, guys, if y'all hear my stupid dogs barking in the background. You know, but you want a quick way to learn? Go fish those BFLs as a co-angler. Those guys are competing for, you know, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a tournament. You only fish 5 of them, and those guys are going to show you everything they know on those local to you big bodies of water. Go fish a club as a co-angler. That's you want to learn, get out there and meet those people, and that's the way to do it. Find clubs that are close to you. Find tournaments. Yeah, you know, everybody wants to win, but I know right now I'm paying my BFL entry fees to go learn. 90% of the time I'm making a cast, but I'm sitting here watching the guy on the front of the boat, like, what's he doing? What is that? Hey, buddy, what you got up there?
Yep.
I mean, that's...
And it's subtle things. I mean, there's little things that certain people know that you don't. And it's just a certain way to work a lure, you know, or a certain way they like to do things. And it's things you teach yourself, those things too, by time on the water and being around those people. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's, you know, like Hank said, man, you just learn. I mean, it's all about sitting and listening and learning.
I think we should answer this one question that Carter keeps asking. What's some good advice on starting a fishing channel, since we've all done it? I think we should all give a little bit on that, because, you know, we're all here right now, and if someone's looking to start one, what they should do.
Dedication.
Definitely.
That's one real big thing.
Dedication and content. You want good content, and you want good content consistently.
Yeah.
I put out 5 videos this week. And I mean, I don't do that every week, but I mean, you got to put out them videos. People, you got to be consistent. You got to make people remember you.
And you got to
entertain.
That's a big thing. I think the way I look at it is, if I'm bored from watching my own video, then nobody's going to watch it. So you got to try to make it as entertaining as possible. If it entertains you, it's going to entertain your audience, hopefully.
Yep. And be interactive with your audience. I mean, even if you've only got 100 subscribers, talk with them, interact with them. I mean, the one thing I dread is that I'll get so big that I won't be able to reply to every comment.
Yeah.
Or like every comment. I mean, because even now it's hard, and I'm not saying I have a big channel at all, because I don't, but it's sometimes hard for me to keep up with everybody. And I mean, I hate that. I want to be able to reply and talk to everybody.
That's the way I am. I want to, but I'm at work. I get comments. I get home. I get tired. You know, But I want to
get up, eat dinner, and you go to bed. But the next thing you know, you turn around, the day's over again. So
exactly. I mean, and I apologize to anybody out there who's watching this right here, and I have not commented back to you guys. I am sorry, because I just send me another message and I'll comment whatever. I'll answer.
Sure.
And you know, the other thing is, don't overstep. You know, when I very first started, I was going to do it. You know, I was going to release a video every 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, I can do it every week. And I realized quickly that's actually a lot of work to do every week. You know, I've kept it up so far, and I'm planning on keeping it up so far, but I don't plan on doing more than that right now. And get what you want out of it. Make the videos that you like. Don't worry about everybody else right now, because if you like it and you're happy with it, and it is what you want to say to the world, I don't think what else matters.
Yeah.
Well, that's what somebody told me here recently. If a guy, kind of my mentor when it comes to YouTube videos and editing, if you like it, who cares what anybody else thinks? As long as you like it and you're willing to put it out there for everybody to see. But, you know.
Yeah, and don't, I mean, I tell you, like Hank said, it's a lot of work. I promise you, every day at iCast, I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure that my videos were edited and put out so you guys could see them. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, pat me on the back. I don't want a pat on the back. I'm just telling you. And I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning to put my videos out so you guys could see them, because I know you guys are going to freaking just eat that up and enjoy that. Because I want you, I mean, there's nothing more that I wish that everybody could go to iCast and check that out. You know what I mean? And people want to be there and want to see that. So I was putting it out so you guys can see it. And there's a lot of, I mean, you know, I go to school, and I mean, I work, you know, I mow yards, and then I sub when I can during the school year. So I've got a lot of time to do videos. But it's still a lot of time put into videos. I mean, there's a lot of nights that I get home from fishing, I download my video onto my computer, and I sit till 1 or 2 in the morning editing and uploading and making my thumbnails and getting everything ready and making sure that this isn't copyrighted and this isn't going to do right or whatever. Because a lot of times, man, I mean, you'll get a video. I had probably 35 minutes of video from iCast that had no audio on it. Why? That's a great question. Something just hiccuped in my camera. So I had to figure out 30 minutes of video, condense it down to a short thing, and put some music over it. Had to find some music that wasn't copyrighted and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you know, don't jump in both feet, but don't drown. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're jumping in the shallow end, and then you work your way to the deep end.
Yeah, so. I spent 4 hours editing yesterday, and just to come to find out when I went back and watched it, the audio was trash. So I was like, all right, great.
Yeah.
So. That happens all the time. Bass Munitions has been blowing up in the live stream right now. We should talk a little bit about that. I absolutely love that bait that Lucky Tackle Box sent us to do a video on. That mini breacher bait. Did you guys like that too?
Yes, that thing was killing it on a shaky head.
I caught my PB on it this year. That's what I was just flipping.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
I caught a 6-pounder and a 5-pounder the same day on it.
Wow.
Sweet.
Okay, the Bass Munition stuff is cool. I love the scent. What was that? Rocket Fuel? That Rocket Fuel scent is awesome.
Yeah, very unique.
He just put a discount code in the comments, guys. So 15% off his stuff. So go check that out and use that discount code.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, Richard. Appreciate it.
Everybody go check that out. Bass Munitions is making some killer stuff. So.
Those things work. I'm telling you.
I want to get some of the regular stuff.
I've never tried them. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
They're really good stuff. Really good stuff.
I got a pretty good video on my channel from back when I caught them. Was catching back in the spring on them things really heavy. It's pretty decent video. I caught one of my biggest fish this year on them. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I got 3 videos where I use them. I think I caught like a 4-pounder, 5-pounder, and a 6-pounder all in that same mini breacher bait. It was sweet. It's a great
things work.
Great bait.
Yep. Fish prove it. Well, you can sit and talk about something all day long, but when fish get caught on it, that's when it gets proven right there.
Yeah.
Royalty-free music for guys with the YouTube channels. I use SoundCloud. I use what YouTube has. I run. Oh God, what is my editor even called? Final Cut Pro. I forgot. Final Cut Pro, which is you can buy that through the App Store if you have a Mac. Final Cut has literally like a bank of like 2,000 songs, and they're all royalty free. So you just gotta kind of look for it.
There's YouTube channels that have like free uncopyrighted music. I use that a lot, but I also use Audio Library and SoundCloud too.
Yeah, and then like I said, I think I said this before the live stream started. I just sometimes I just take the loss and use music that's copyrighted because I like to make videos with music like that. I'm a big grunge head. I'm a big rock dude, so I like to do a sweet edit over a Nirvana song or something. So
before I bass fished, I played the bass in a grunge band for 5 years. So me and you get along just not just.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! I love it, I am such a grunge head. I mean, dude, if it's 90s grunge, I love the Foo Fighters. So I went and seen them twice this year. I mean, dude, it's just I'm a huge rock dude.
Yeah, me too.
So that's awesome.
Tell you, if Metallica ever comes back around here, I'm gonna go see them.
I seen them in Lollapalooza '96. How old am I?
Yes, love it.
Before I was alive.
Somebody said use NCS. Nothing is copyrighted. Is NCS? Is that a website?
NCS on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
thank you for that bit of information.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
think it's on YouTube too. I'm pretty sure there's a channel, No Copyright Sounds. That's what it's called, or Non-Copyright Sounds. Yeah, I use them on YouTube sometimes.
That's what John B uses. He's got like, and if you want some good uncopyrighted music, go to John B. He has his own SoundCloud profile, and he's got like thousands of songs that he's saved on there that he's used or people use. So.
Yeah.
Swim. Somebody asked, do we ever use swim jigs? I am not a big swim jig guy. Anybody fish swim jigs?
I do some, especially down here in the pond. I'll use them some down there because I can keep it up off the bottom instead of using a jig that I just drag across the bottom because you're gonna get junk all the time. I use a swim jig where I can keep it up off the bottom a little bit. So I use those quite a bit.
Swim jigs are better in or around grass. So and where I'm at, there's not any grass in the lakes I fish up this way.
Yeah, there's very little grass around me, and I don't think the fish have learned how to orient the grass around me just yet. It's so new that they just kind of blows their minds and they stay away from it. So, but Greg Hackney is a man that if you want to learn something about fishing a swim jig, just go look up Greg Hackney fishing a swim jig, and that dude, he is the master of disaster when it comes to that thing.
Yeah.
So, show for show. Let's see what else we got. Any tips on beginning a YouTube channel? Yeah, we kind of went over that. Just consistency, good content. Don't get too overwhelmed with it. So, let's ask you, Thomas. You want to just ask a few more questions, and we'll kind of be getting done because I'm getting up before daylight in the morning to go fishing, so I'm kind of ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I have to jump off here too pretty soon.
Guys, fire away with a couple more.
Yeah.
Some good ones.
We'll call it quits.
What do you
Thank
fish?
you, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll check you out, man. I'll sub back to you.
Alex, what type of fishing are you doing tomorrow?
We're going probably to Loudon, so a little top water in the morning. Might toss that new swim bait around, see if I can get them to bite it. And then probably gonna have to move off and find some deep, start cranking and throwing a jig. It's probably what's gonna be happening.
We're going to a new lake tomorrow. I mean, Vinny's fished it once, but I've never fished it, so we're gonna try that. It's a lot of heavy cover, so we're gonna try to flip some of it in the morning. And maybe
I might do some flipping too. The bass are starting to get in that period where they like to get up close to stuff. So if I can find a few good ones shallow, that'll be fun.
I'm going up to Watauga tomorrow, so I'm going to do deeper fishing than I normally do. My buddy who makes Ledgehead lures, and the guys, I'm not sponsored by Ledgehead. He's just a real good friend of mine. Took me to fish my first tournament. He's an awesome guy. It's how I know Raji Brown is through him. A guy by the name of Tim Saylor. He is a stick up in these parts, but he makes sledge heads and they're just good. But anyway, we're going to fish Watauga, and I reckon he told me he was catching spots out of 60 foot of water on a drop shot. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow.
For sure. Somebody asked how I like the new boat. It's just absolutely incredible. I'm going to be doing a boat walkthrough very soon. Y'all guys will get to see everything in detail, but this thing is it's a Cadillac for sure.
I'm so jealous.
You gotta come down and fish with me. It's really ridiculous. I didn't know that. I mean, like, I thought the boat we had was an absolutely amazing boat, but I mean, this boat is just like, it's 10 times the boat that boat was. So.
Did y'all trade the other boat?
Yes. Yeah. Dad traded in the other boat. Yeah.
Oh, Bass Munitions lives about a county or two away from me. Well, what do you know?
Hey.
We'll have to go
it's P-line for the copolymer. That's when we're talking about copolymer, that's the only one I use is P-line, the brown P-line. So.
My computer's randomly restarted on me, so I'm on my phone right now. You probably can't hear me very well.
Yeah, I hear you pretty good.
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
You're good, man.
Completely just restarted on me on the wall.
Favorite reel brand? Anybody got any favorites on those?
Like Lose.
Like Lose.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of everything.
That's me too. I've got a little bit of everything, but I'll tell you what, for the price, man, those Lose are so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Lose LFS, $99. I've got 7 of them, 6 or 7 of them, and you can't break them.
I bought my first 2 earlier this year, and I used to be big on the Bass Pro qualifier.
Yeah.
And for the same exact price, most part, unless Bass Pro is running a sale, it eats the Lose just eats the Pro qualifier's lunch, man.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I tell you another good one that I've got really interested in. And don't buy them off Tackle Warehouse because they're too expensive. If you go find the Daiwa Fuegos on eBay, I got my Fuego for $89 or $130 on Tackle Warehouse. But I got my Fuego you can get them online for $79 to $89 off eBay. And that Fuego is the smoothest, sweetest reel I got. And it's going to be one of those things is if I can start, replacing some Lose with some Fuegos, I'm going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you what. I know they don't get talked about a whole lot, but Cast King makes some awesome reels, especially because I like them because they're saltwater rated. Mm-hmm. I can take them down to the coast, get done with them, wash them off, clean them up, bring them back, good to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna get a reel from them and test it out and see how I like it. Maybe do a review on it. So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple questions about 13 fishing. Any of you guys use the 13 fishing stuff? I've never used it.
Too expensive for me, truthfully. Just be straight up. And their cheapest reel is like $250.
Wow, really?
Yeah, their cheapest reel is like $250, and their most expensive is like $500.
See, where I turn to fish. For me, I'm always looking for bang for the buck because I always like to have, for me, numbers. If I get some good rods and reels, I hate to retie. I hate to change baits. If I can have 3 of the same exact rods laying out on my deck with 3 different lures on it, I don't have to change anything, and that saves me time.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Somebody asked about JDM products. JDM, for the guys who are listening that don't know, are Japanese imported products. Japanese imported products are. I've never had a Japanese product that wasn't absolutely amazing or innovative, but I never bought a Japanese product that I didn't pay a pretty penny for. So my opinion is they catch fish, it's good stuff, but you're going to pay for it. You better have that pocketbook ready to crack open because everything Japanese imported is expensive. So Carver said the cheapest one they have is $120. So okay, cool. I didn't know. I know the concept. They got like concept A, B, C, and something else. I thought the cheapest one was like $250, but I guess I'm wrong.
Go ahead,
buddy.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Coleridge and I asked what pound test is the best for fishing weedy, stumpy water areas for bass fishing. Weedy and stumpy. What you guys recommend? I say heavy braid, just good heavy braid, but
65-pound braid.
There you go.
I'd say at least 50 or more.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a braid guy, especially when it's shallow flipping. I mean, my opinion, is on it that a bass lives in up next to wood or up kind of next to some kind of structure its whole entire life. So that braided line just looks like a twig or something in the water, and it's not going to scare them. And if I've got the power there and I know I can get a fish out of a tree or out of I've seen shopping carts on Loudon. If I can get them away from, barbed wire fences and shopping carts and trees and rocks and culverts and everything else without my line breaking, that's what I'm going to do. And 65-pound braid is what's going to do it. So, better to buy in bulk or small spools, depending on the line. I mean, I like to buy P-line in bulk. I get it. I'm telling you, eBay guys. If you're a fisherman on a budget, get on eBay. I can go buy 600 yards of P-line on eBay for $6 cheaper than I can buy it at the Bass Pro. So look on eBay before you go anywhere else.
I totally agree. eBay and Amazon.
Yep.
Amazon, yeah, definitely.
Buying stuff off Amazon.
Realistic Fishing asked, how do you stop braid from digging into itself on the spool? Back it with mono will help. Backing it with just a little bit of mono will help to give it a base to hold on to. And then, other than that, I've never really had much of a digging issue with me. Hank or anybody else? Anybody know anything?
I just wonder what pound test he's using.
Well, the biggest thing there, you just got to make sure you keep good pressure on it, because now I have had, and most of the time it's when we get those professional overruns. Let's call them that. But you get a nice one where that lure goes out about 10 feet, wants to swing back and hit you in the stomach. I've got it before. And most of the time it's because I didn't have enough tension on my line when I was putting it on my reel.
Yeah. And another thing is, a lot of people like to use like 15-pound braid on a bait caster. I wouldn't recommend that.
No.
It is a total mess when you do that. I mean, if you're not using 50, 65-pound braid to like flip with, be using either copolymer, fluorocarbon, or mono on your bait casters. And then I fish all my spinning reels with braid, but I'm fishing at 10-pound braid with a 10-pound copolymer leader. So don't use light braid on a bait caster. It's just, you're going to have a mess. So.
Yeah. Probably, I don't know.
I use 20s to the lowest I go on bait caster.
That's what I was going to say, probably 20, 30.
Yeah.
So. I keep seeing the question about rods. What kind of rods do y'all recommend? I use Fenwick. I've got 3 Fenwick rods, and I've got some other different rods, kind of this and that, but I like them.
I got a Heinz rod.
Yeah, I love to try new things, so every time I go to the store, I think I buy a different rod.
Yeah, I've got a Ducket, a carrot stick, a Castaway, an Abu, just da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know what I mean? So, and I think LTB is going to be working on some stuff for rods for us.
Daiwa, right?
I don't know yet. Rick just told me that it's going to be from Japan. That's all I've heard. So
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. Be fun.
Yeah, because one day they were talking about Daiwa.
What'd you say, buddy? I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
I said at iCast, Travis and them were talking about getting us with Daiwa if they can.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
all right, Thomas, you got to go, man?
Yeah, I'm going to have to jump off here.
Okay.
I hate to end it so quick, but I'm going to have to jump off. And I appreciate everybody. I appreciate y'all guys joining me. I appreciate all the viewers who come in and spent time with us. So, guys, we'll have more of these, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for
Guys,
having me.
make sure and go subscribe to everybody's channel here.
Yes, sir. Everybody.
Yes, Bass Geek, go subscribe to him. Hooked Fishing, go subscribe to him. Me, Alex Rub Fishing, go to subscribe to me.
And don't forget, after tonight, my name is going to be Southern Outdoors Fishing.
Legally closed.
SOF. Soft.
Yes, it is. SOF.
Soft. Soft.
Sorry.
All right, guys. Soft. All right. I'll see you guys later. It was good to talk to you guys. I had a fun time.
Talking.
Yeah. Y'all guys take care. We'll see y'all.
Take it easy.
Yeah.